My name is Krista Cala, and in this video I'm going to discuss how much you need to tighten your bow. This is the bow when it's loose. When you remove it from your violin case, this is how it should be. Notice that the wood has a nice, big, concave curve to it, and that the horsehair is very loose. This is perhaps a little bit loose. It's exaggerated for the purposes of this video. In order to tighten the bow, you need to come down here to the screw, and you want to tighten it. So you're going to turn it to the right. If you forget which direction to turn it, just remember righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So you want to tighten the bow a little bit. How much you tighten the bow is going to depend on the weather where you live, or really the humidity. The horsehair is a natural fiber, and just as your own hair gets wet when it's wet from the shower, it's longer, and as your hair dries, it gets shorter. The same is true for your horsehair. So if you live in a very humid climate, you will need to tighten your bow more so than if you live in a drier climate. But still, how much do you tighten your bow? There's no set standard for that. You don't need to try to measure with your fingers or anything like that. Remember that curve that we had to the bow, that I showed you to the bow at the beginning? You do not want to tighten the bow to the point where the stick is straight, or heaven forbid, it's curving the other way like this, so you have a convex curve. You want to keep a slight curve to the bow up here. I don't know if you can see that. See how there's still a little bit of a curve? Yet my horsehair is probably about an inch or so away from the stick. And you need to have it far enough away from the stick that when you put the bow on the string and you apply pressure, that the hair will not touch the stick. Because if it touches the stick, you'll get a gritty, kind of woody sound. And we don't want that. So when you're done playing, you want to loosen up your bow. So remember, we turn to the left, lefty-loosey. So we're going to turn the bow to the left. Again, if you live in that humid climate, you want to make sure you really loosen your bow up well. I have found that here where it rains a lot, I will loosen my bow up, and then overnight the rain stops and it dries out. I open my case up the next day and my bow looks tight. I do not like seeing my bow tight in the case, because over time that can warp your bow, which means that the wood or the stick will be crooked. One thing I'd like to show you is if you are not paying attention when you're loosening the bow, and you just keep doing it and unscrewing it and unscrewing it, the screw does come out all the way. This is designed so that you can have a rehair, which is fresh horsehair put on your bow, and you need a bow expert, a bow guide to do that. I did this when I was a beginning violinist, and I got into major trouble with my parents, because when you take the screw all the way out, it comes apart like this. And my parents, we thought I had broken the bow, and we raced to the violin repair guy, and he laughed at me, and it was a very good lesson to learn. So you don't need to do this. It's not a toy. You don't want to play around and do this just for fun. But I just wanted to show you that in case you think, like myself, that you've broken your bow, but you haven't. Okay, so to tighten the bow, turn it to the right. You want to keep a little bit of a concave curve to the bow, very slight, but you want to still have that bow hair an inch or so away from the string, away from the bow, enough so that when you put the bow on the string, the hair does not touch the wood. Thank you.